Good evening. Happy Friday, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in on this Friday. Can't believe it's already almost Thanksgiving. The holidays are coming up very, very soon. Welcome to our Golden Hour. This is a conversation that Angel and I have with people who inspire us. It's a weekly series, so you can always watch every Fridays at 8 o'clock Eastern Time or 7 p.m. Central Time, depending on where you are. So today we have an old friend of mine from middle school named Ziad and his lovely wife, Emmy, that's going to be joining us. A little backstory about their life. It's very unique. Within 3 years, they have quit their corporate job. They got married. They quit their corporate job. They moved to Thailand, lived there for a few months, came back to the States, and flipped well over a dozen houses. And then now they're on an adventure in their small little minivan. So that's a little backstory about them, and I would like to introduce them. I'm going to have them join in with us here. Give me 1 second. All right, so Perfect!
What's up?
Hello.
How are you?
I hope you guys heard my intro. Hello!
We heard.
Perfect. Yeah, that's why I started just slightly early so I can introduce you guys.
Awesome. He loves to be the center of attention.
Love it. Could you guys flip your camera the other way? Okay.
There
Awesome.
we go. Oh my god, this is good. No, it's clearly not.
Okay, let's see if we can get this.
You guys look cozy.
Yeah.
Very cozy, but it looks very cold.
Yeah,
cold?
we're in North Carolina at the moment in the mountains.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Again, thank you so much. I know that when we had planned and scheduled this 2 months ago, we didn't know where you guys are going to be, especially because you're on the road 24/7. So again, thank you for, just making the time today to join us for the 30-minute session. And I'm excited because you guys have an awesome story to showcase and tell everyone that things are possible. And even though the unknown is a little scary, it's people like you guys that really inspire people to want to do what they have always thought about doing. So yeah, all right. Well, welcome everyone. You guys can go ahead and introduce yourself. I know I already introduced you, but your name and just kind of, I don't know, maybe like a fact or 3 facts about each one of you.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm Ziad.
I'm Emmy.
We are married, fact 1. My dog Milo, fact 2. Yeah, he's so cute. We love him so much. I would like to, what would I like to share? A fact about myself, I like being free. I like being free. And that's kind of like what my and our journey is kind of revolved around. And go ahead with your fact.
Okay, my fact is that I come from a family of 5. I have 3 sisters and a brother. So I guess that's a fact about me that maybe people didn't know.
Awesome. Big family. Love it. Are you the youngest?
Family.
I'm number 3 of 5.
Okay. So kind of in the middle somewhere.
Smack dab in the middle.
Perfect. So Ziad, you just mentioned you like to be free. What does that mean to you? Or what does that mean to you guys?
Yeah, well, I read a book called The 4-Hour Workweek back in, 2013. Yeah, it's so good, isn't it?
Yes.
It was a game changer for me. Really, I felt like it was kind of something that just put words to how I felt. And at that time, I don't know, I was in college. I don't know what year it was, but, you know, it just hit me that freedom of time, freedom of location, and, you know, just entrepreneurship really started to speak to me and kind of align with my values. So freedom to me is really just being able to live out your purpose and your vision, whatever that might be, and you know, being able to live life. I mean, you only have one life, you know, and
as far as we can remember.
yeah, I mean, more, but yeah, so that's kind of my level of freedom. I think it also goes deeper than that into, you know, psycho-spiritual freedom. We won't go down that rabbit hole though. Maybe another interview.
Awesome. And then what about you, Emmy?
So for me, I feel like I've always really been like having freedom at my heart just as a person. I always kind of push boundaries, and I kind of like have never really liked authority. I always question why, what are the rules about? Like, is this founded in something I believe in? And I've always just been that kind of person. And I think that it's really easy to just get like, you know, down the path of just like, once you're in high school, you're studying, you're supposed to apply for colleges and whatnot. And then there's kind of like this pre-planned steps that we're like given to follow.
We're so programmed to just, you know, this is the path, right?
Yeah. And I think that, you know, it's just something to question and just like look into your own heart and just say, you know, what is my special gift? What is my divine purpose here? And using, you know, just like following your inspiration and following your own heart and vision to lead your life rather than.
Oop, I think there's a connection. Okay, we're back. It's gonna happen. It's all right. So yeah, no, definitely. So following your vision, following your purpose, how long ago would you say that you guys had discovered all of these values that you guys really wanted to put into action? And how did you guys even decide that and what to do? Because entrepreneurship is such a big it's so large. It comes in different waves and ways. So yeah, what's your journey on that?
Do you want to begin?
No, you go ahead.
I think like separately we have our own journeys of how we kind of got there.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Technical difficulties. 1 second, guys. It happens. They're on the road. They're in a van, so I think they're probably hooked up to their iPhone Wi-Fi or something. So again, for everyone who's joining in, I did a mini background story about them. So me and Ziad go back way back when I used to live in Michigan in middle school. And he and his wife, Emmy, had decided to quit their corporate job. And this is all within a 3-year span. They quit their corporate jobs and they ventured out to Thailand. So they moved to Thailand. I want them to share their story about what they did in Thailand. So I won't give too much away on that. And then they flipped well over a dozen. Give me 1 second. I'm going to have them come back in. All right, so we're waiting for them. But yes, so they flipped well over a dozen homes when they came back to the States after living in Thailand. And then they are now traveling the States in their little minivan with their little dog, Milo. Okay, so it's still connecting. And so today's topic is going to be about freedom and what freedom looks like to them and what it is and what they are doing with that freedom that they have.
Oh man.
Still
Okay.
I
connecting.
can't hear her.
Connecting. Come on. What's going on here?
I apologize, guys.
Strange.
Okay, I'm gonna cancel that. We have go live with them again.
Okay, I think we're back.
Yes, you guys are.
It's quite
Oh
the
my
journey.
gosh.
So sorry about
That's
that.
okay. It happens.
I'm gonna tap the screen whenever it goes dark.
Yep, no, it's good. We can hear you guys. Everything's good and solid. I just kind of, there's a lot more people who joined in who didn't hear my introduction, so I just kind of repeated myself. So
Awesome.
all good.
Yeah,
all right. So going back to what were we talking about?
I was kind of sharing with we came to our kind of like visions of freedom, I think a little separately. Like we kind of were on that path before we even really connected. And when we connected, really on our first or second date, we were kind of talking about all these concepts. And it's like, do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you want to live a life of freedom? Do you, like, I was really interested in tiny homes, minimalism, alternative living at the time. And he was more about like the financial freedom. And it was kind of just like the perfect storm. We're like, wow, all this like really lines up. And
That's
just
awesome.
like fed into each other, you know?
Truly.
Yeah, awesome. So with that being said, like what made you guys quit your job and go to Thailand, and what did you guys do in Thailand?
Yeah. So the Thailand thing, I guess we were both working jobs at that time. I was at HP, she was at Quicken Loans, and both pretty early in our careers. It was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years for me, and Emily was earlier in. And we both have been talking about digital entrepreneurship because that's kind of like the vehicle that we wanted to take. Obviously, Tim Ferriss was a huge inspiration for us. So we wanted to live that lifestyle. So we went ahead and just started a business in Thailand around our passions, really. And so that's kind of what we were doing there. But
and we actually went there because it was our honeymoon. So that's how we originally going to Thailand. And
one-way ticket.
Actually it was a round trip, and we ended up like not going back. So it was pretty bizarre. And we were just like, let's just like follow our hearts, try something new. And it really was eye-opening for us. I actually did a yoga teacher training when I was there. It was like a 1 month long intensive. And so I am a certified teacher, and that was a really amazing experience. And yeah, there was a lot of growth, I think, in that 4 months we were there, but we did end up kind of feeling a little homesick, and also feeling a little bit, I guess, scared of entrepreneurship, and is this going to work out in the time frame that we want it to? And all those fears kind of started creeping in. And that actually led us to go back home. So we were only there for about 4 months, but it was definitely like a transformative time, and definitely a part of the process in the hero's journey. Like looking back, is like it was totally absolutely like important to go through that.
Part of our journey. Yeah. It definitely kind of was like our first attempt at making it work. And the truth is, it would have worked out, is what it seemed like, but it was happening so slow, and there was that unknown, and it takes time to start a business, and as you know very well, and a
lot of it was learning, actually. Like while we were there, we were doing a lot of reading and researching, and YouTube University and all that stuff.
The internet marketing, the content creation, and all that good stuff.
I know all about that.
I know you do.
That is very awesome. We already have a few questions kind of streaming in. Some people are wanting to know what you guys did before you guys made this leap of faith to quit your job and move to Thailand. So what were you guys doing before, and what's your background?
Yeah, so I was at Hewlett Packard. I was an account manager. That was my first gig out of college.
I was a mortgage banker at Quicken Loans, working in downtown Detroit. And that was also my first job out of college.
And it was a grind.
I'm sure.
For her. my job was like, they didn't even know if I was there or not. But
Quicken Loans is growing massively.
Yeah.
I know a few people who work there and did work there. So going back to Thailand, since it was your honeymoon and you guys decided to just stay there, even though it was a round trip ticket that you guys bought, did you guys quit your job before or after Thailand?
Good question.
it
was-
happened like 2 days before.
Yeah,
So we got
so we
married
Oh,
on
wow.
Saturday.
Yeah. We had time off
And-
for our wedding, and then we ended up calling in. Well, I did. I ended up calling in and saying, I'm not going to come back, essentially.
Yeah, it was
And-
2 days after our wedding.
2 days
Yeah.
notice.
Yeah.
So we knew going to Thailand that we weren't going to come back. We packed for like a lot. We were like, let's pack as much as we can in our suitcase.
Yeah.
You know? We're going to be there a while.
Yeah, well, the cool thing was with the notice is her job, like, people drop out like flies all the time there. So we already knew that when you tell them you're done, they care, they take
There's
you to
no
the front.
2 weeks notice as a salesperson in mortgage banking. So
And for me,
Yeah.
it worked out really well because I could do what I was doing virtually, and I ended up working like an hour a week, transitioning to the
it
next
was more than
person.
that,
An
but
hour
it
a day.
was-
Hour a day. Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Going back to the
yeah,
4-hour
it
work
worked
week.
out. Yeah, I was like, hey, I get to try out this 4-hour work week thing
Yeah.
earlier than planned, just right out the
That was
gate,
definitely
so.
a blessing. Like he was trying to kind of like step out, and they were like, well, if you're willing to do this remotely, and train the next person. And
It took several months.
Yeah,
so
and it was awesome because we had that
it was a blessing.
going for us while we were there.
Totally.
That is very awesome because if you think about it, if you guys had gone to your honeymoon and came back to the States, you guys wouldn't have learned all the things that you guys were doing in Thailand to be where you are right now. So
Yeah.
that is definitely a leap of faith. I know a lot of people who are just so comfortable that they would never do such a thing,
Yeah.
but your story is amazing. So it takes us to what are you guys doing now? What did you guys do after Thailand?
So after Thailand, we ended up to Michigan.
Uh-oh,
Yeah,
connection. Okay.
There we go. We're back. But yeah, we ended up coming back to Michigan. We got
I went
jobs.
back to Quicken Loans. I called my boss and I was like, hey, I'm back. Is it okay if I come back? And they were more than happy to have me back. And then
She put in a good word for me.
I recruited Ziad as well. I was like, come join me. And we got to work together for a while. And
We bought a home.
We bought our home.
We
our
got
first
our-
home together.
Our good boy Milo over here.
We adopted we got Milo and he joined our family.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And then round 2, I quit my job again. But that was actually like 8 weeks. No, sorry. Not maybe 9 to 10 months later.
But he was talking about it from like the first like couple weeks he was at Quicken Loans. He was like, I don't know if this is for me. Like, I think that the entrepreneurship is truly like my path, and kind of was like started plotting like what's going to be the next step. Like he knew that this wasn't going to be like a long-term career for him. It was more of a stepping stone. And yeah, I fully devoted myself to Quicken Loans, and I was like, I'm gonna give my all to this company, and you do you. And he ended up leaving and becoming licensed as a realtor. And
Well,
he had,
not quite. I ended up getting licensed as a realtor.
Yeah.
But the goal was just like, I was inspired by listening to these podcasts about these guys that were building systems to flip houses. And it was the type of thing where they weren't really doing any of the work. And it was like kind of the same inspiration that I got from the 4-hour work week, where these guys were just building these businesses and they were flipping like 100 houses a year, working like 20 hours a week. And that's kind of, there was a fire underneath me, and I'm like, I got to get into this business. So I knew that was it. But then I got licensed as well. And that was the path. And it wasn't easy at first, but And you know, when I took that leap again, I started to have those same feelings that I had in Thailand of, you know, this might not work out. And I was 4 months in, I believe, without making $1. And it was that, you know, that inner critic, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, I'm sure. But this time I knew, like, hey, I've been here before. I know that this is the fear that, like, everybody feels, because we're just so conditioned to rely on a check, and it's so comfortable. And when you're not getting an income, even if you have a vision, you're just, what if this isn't going to work? So it ended up happening, made my first $1, and it changed things.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
and within that time frame, since you said you didn't see anything, no income streaming at 4 months, when did you start seeing the dollars?
I think it was about month 5.
Okay.
Month 4.5 or 5. And it's kind of the nature of real estate in a way, but it was still, like, taking so long. But yeah, it happened.
What kept you going?
Honestly, I think it was just knowing that the fear is normal, you know, and just normalizing that.
And there was a commitment when Ziad quit for the second time. It was like, I can't, you know, do this a third time. You know, I can't go back to a corporate world and quit again. And it's like a real commitment. And that commitment is going to get you through the doubts and, you know, any kind of inner critic or fear that you might be facing. And in a partnership, you know, it is both people that are facing it. And luckily, like, we had each other. So, you know, it's not like we were without income during this time, but it was still like, is this going to work out? And it was like, you know, it was just like, it was a strain on both of us, essentially. And yeah, the persistence definitely paid off. And Ziad has done really well in the real estate just field in general.
That's very awesome. And I love that you say that we should normalize fear. And it's very true. Fear is what really makes us, it's either you don't go for it or you do. And even with our business right now too, I think we're probably with 4.5 months in, and when you don't see the sales, you get so disheartened.
Tough to
and you're
keep
like,
going.
is this the business that we want to do? Like, it's scary. It really is, but it's exciting all at the same time too. And you guys have been doing awesome. I saw your YouTube videos that you guys put together, and you guys probably didn't even have any experience before putting video content together and just recording in general. So props to you guys, and definitely share your YouTube handle. Everyone, their YouTube video is awesome. I think you guys have like 3 or 4 videos up already.
We have 3 videos, and what is our YouTube? Permaglampers?
It's Permaglampers.
Yeah, it's the same as our Instagram, Permaglampers.
Yeah, awesome. So everybody check it out. Definitely go to their Instagram handle, and then I'm sure your YouTube, is it in your bio? Your YouTube is in your bio?
Yes,
I think it is. Yeah.
Yep. So just follow that link and you'll see a video.
It's amazing. So amazing. You get to see like parts of Thailand as well too.
Yeah.
So yeah, all right. Well, so now I want to talk about your minivan that you guys transformed. So yes, you flipped well over a dozen houses. And then what happens next?
Well, this one over here talked me to some things. No, it was definitely a joint dream, but Emily just had this like burning desire to do this van life thing, and she was watching all of these videos of these van conversions where people would buy, you know, these Sprinter vans or Ford Transit high tops,
empty cargo van,
and convert them into a tiny home on wheels. And she was obsessed with just alternative living and tiny homes, you know, as we discussed. So
I still am. I love alternative, any kind of alternative living situation. I'm interested in knowing about it and learning about it.
Yeah, so. You definitely are. It's so cool. And it's, you know, I grew to appreciate it more and more. And, you know, we ended up actually doing it. I never thought we would. Like, we were talking about it for over a year, and I slowly started warming up to it. And one day we just decided, like, hey, and we kind of like strategized, like, well, you know, obviously the first question is like, well, what are you gonna do to like continue? And for me, it was like, well, what about my business, you know? And we found ways to like kind of keep that going in a different fashion, and kind of stirred up some new business ideas that we got super excited about. And that's kind of what we're pursuing now. And yeah, so we built this thing out in like a month. We sold our house.
And I was trying to convince Ziad, like, let's just take a gap year, you know, like, let's just do it. Like, let's not worry about working. Like, we have enough savings from all the flips that we completed, and then also selling our home and stuff. So I was just like, let's just do it. Let's go for a year. And we kind of set out like open-hearted like that. Like, we don't know where this is going to end, but we were just like following our hearts essentially. And like, we do have a business in the works right now. So if you guys want to stay tuned for that, definitely follow us. And we don't want to reveal too much yet because nothing is really official until at least the springtime. So yeah.
Exciting! I'm so excited for you guys, just following your journey in general. How long have you guys been on the road so far?
Well, we've been in the van since basically July. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So yeah, about a good 4 months.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
Yeah. So we had an epic summer. You know, a part of this like freedom thing was like the world was shut down and we were free. We went on a road trip, an epic road trip, and we were in the forest. We were exploring like so many places. We were outside in all these parks, and like it was just like a really like free time for us. So it was just like, I don't know, I felt just so blessed and grateful like for this opportunity, and just that like we could create our own little freedom in this world. And just like, we love to travel. We've always traveled, but traveling with all of your belongings and having your own kitchen and just like certain things, like even your own sheets, you know, it's like there's your own pillowcase, like, and then on top of that, traveling like by road is really different than traveling by plane. Like you take things a little slower, you take some back roads, you meet people. What I wasn't even like, I knew there was a whole community doing this, but you do kind of get involved in like this nomadic community, and you meet a lot of people that are living this lifestyle. And it's very cool to see, you know, so many different walks of life, so many different people, and you're all just driven by, you know, wanting to be free in your own way. So
yeah, no, that is very, very awesome to get that energy from other people just like you too. And that's what it is with traveling. That's what I love about traveling. You just meet people who are so open-minded, and you connect so easily.
Totally.
So yeah. So where have you guys been so far, and how has it been traveling? This is one of the questions from the audience. How has it been traveling during COVID?
So I'll start with the first question. We started out by going through the Upper Peninsula, and then we kind of skipped over some of the states and just drove through them till we got to South Dakota. And, you know, we loved the Black Hills?
Black Hills, yeah, Custer State Park.
Custer State Park, yep.
Yeah, there's just a lot of beauty that we had not seen before. Montana is probably my favorite visit of summer 2020.
It was, yeah. We went to Wyoming, then Montana, and then Idaho blew us away. Total. I thought we were just going to be seeing potatoes on the side of the road. I had no idea what to expect, and it blew us away. Hot springs and like so remote. There was a stretch where we didn't see a gas station for like 90 miles, and it was one road.
You're really in the middle of nowhere.
Montana, like when you enter Idaho from Montana all the way through to Washington, there was one road. and it was like there was a river alongside, and there was multiple hot springs, and there was like almost no development, and it blew us away. So
and during COVID, traveling has been easy for us because we have our own kitchen. We have not been eating out. We just, we usually shop at nighttime when the stores are kind of more empty, or really it depends. We don't have really a routine about it, but we're just it's been easy for us. We're usually outside. That's a part of living in the van. You don't really want to stay in your vehicle all day, like it's really just a mode to kind of get you places. So we try to stay outdoors and do a lot of hikes and picnics and just like outdoor activities. So that has been very easy during this time, at least for us.
Yeah. And we also, a lot of our travel was the northern states of the US during the summer, and they were doing fine, so there wasn't much closed down there.
Yeah, state by
so
state,
it like
really
improved,
varies.
because in Michigan a lot was closed down. We couldn't even go to the gyms, and that's kind of where we shower and like to work out. So
yeah. So that was one of the challenges, was definitely the gyms being shut down, but there's always a solution. Truckers need showers, so gas stations, truck stops, and
we do an outdoor shower
we
as
have
well.
Outdoor showers.
We have like a faucet that is designed to pull out the front window, and we've done that a couple times. Yeah, not above that. I mean, that's my favorite kind of bad.
That is so cool. Thank you so much for sharing the challenges too. That was another question I wanted to ask. Very cool. So now you guys are currently in North Carolina, and where's the next destination?
So we are gonna kind of head to the coast from here. So it's gonna be south into the coast.
We're getting into the warmth. We're escaping the cold. We went back to Michigan. Our nephew was born, and we wanted to meet him and stuff. So
van life is different there, because you can't swing the back door open, and it was just our van wasn't really designed for the winter, although we can heat it, but you got to heat it all day.
The whole point is chasing the good weather, right? So we're going south. We're going to Florida,
Charleston to start, and then we're gonna go to Hilton Head, and then ride like the A1A down the east side of Florida, and then probably come up the west coast. And we've got a couple friends we want to see, and stuff like that. So
how fun! What a journey! 3 years, right? All within 3 years and a half?
Yeah, so we got married 3/11/2017. So it's been 3.5 years since this all happened.
Yeah, that is so amazing. But we are running up on the 30 minutes. I'm gonna see. I think there was one question that we didn't answer when I had asked you about what keeps you going during your flipping houses. Like, you mentioned podcasts. Who were the podcast people you were listening to during that time?
So the name has changed, and the guy who runs the podcast and the program changed, but it's currently called 7-Figure Flipping. And a guy named Bill Allen runs it. And I mean, if anybody wants to build a flipping business, like, get tapped into that source and you'll have everything you need.
And podcast Bigger Pockets is a great resource for real estate.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Ziad has spent so many hours listening to that podcast, and so
too many.
There's a lot of cool information out there, and many different YouTube channels too. But if anyone is like looking for flipping info specifically, you can always message us and we'll send some resources your way too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. And then my question is, I would like to know more about your financial journey, just like how much it cost to build your van, how much you guys made during your flipping houses, and then how much it is with you guys, just your expenses daily in your van with gas and food and all that. Like, that would be something I would be interested in.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the van we DIY'd, so it was actually like $15,000 in material. We bought the van new, and actually new-ish. It was 10,000 miles, so just gently used 2019 Ford Transit. We did that instead of the Sprinter van. Got it with 0 down. So that was awesome. You know, super good 3.5% financing. So that was cool. We did about, I think it was 15,000 in material, and that was probably because we're such amateurs and probably bought the wrong things a couple
wasted
times.
some material, and yeah, it was during COVID too. So yeah, we would buy some things ahead of time online and then not end up using it and stuff. So we could probably have refined our budget, but we do have a lot of things in the van too. We're completely off grid, so we don't ever have to plug in anywhere. And we have a couple fans. We have, you know, climate control and stuff for the dog and ourselves. And we have a mini fridge. We have a sink with running water, and we have like a stove oven combo. We have a little fireplace and
Awesome.
that's
Everything.
yeah.
Well, yeah, like these are, do you guys ever, have you guys thought about doing like a video of that finance
tour.
journey?
We should do
It's
a van
coming.
tour. We really should. We have like a couple
Things that we wanted to finish off that we kind of never did.
We haven't done that yet, so we're just like, we'll probably do
Let's
that
just
eventually.
hit the road. We'll do it. We'll do it at the next Home Depot.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. All right. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time and everyone else's Friday, but I do want to give you guys a few minutes, to a few seconds to minutes, to just share a closing statement or a favorite quote that you live by.
Quotes. Yeah.
Well, I will say this year, a mantra that just like really resonated with me that I've been repeating to myself is every day I wake up, I have everything I need. And that's just been really close to my heart this year. So I'll just share that with you guys.
Yeah. For me, a thought I'll share. I just want to let everybody know that we're just normal people, you know? And I believe that everybody has a vision that's given to them by God, the universe, your higher self, whatever it is. And it's a dream that you might have, and you don't know where it's going to lead you. And you just need to listen to that voice, however it comes to you in your life, that inspiration. And whatever it is, that journey is going to challenge you. And if you just take one step and put one foot in front of the other, you'll see what God or the universe has in store for you.
Love it. Thank you so much. I'm going to take that all in. Yes, this was a great conversation, and I wish we could talk a little bit more. But I know it's late, so I will let you guys go, and happy holidays.
Same to you.
Safe travels.
Yeah. And
bye,
thank you for
everyone.
having us.
Yeah, no
so
problem.
Nice. Appreciate it.
Yep. See you guys.
See you.
See
Take
you all.
care.